want to get into a lesson real quick. Lord willing, it be edifying and to the point. It's going to be a little in transit video. I just wanted to, press record while this was on my spirit. I'm just coming from the gym, and I was listening to the audio Bible as I was, finishing my workout on the Stepmaster. And Sirach 10 and 11 I was listening to. And just listening to it with with understanding a couple of those precepts kind of made me think about those that's in power, the globalists, the elites, those that run the earth. The earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, and we all know who that is. Even people in the world is starting to get the picture now. Who really is the wizard behind the curtain, That's a Wizard of Oz reference, But he's, they are the face of evil. And if you don't know who I'm referring to, it's the JEWISH, the Israelis. They have been behind everything that's wrong with the earth right now. And it's been like that for centuries. When it comes to our food having so many chemicals in it to disrupt our hormones, make us fat, and cause all type of bodily ailments and harm, right? The seed oils, ultra processed junk foods, and so forth and so on, and it, being made cheap and so easily accessible. That was done by design, Also, the water being contaminated with what they call PFAS or something like that, and plastics, microplastics inside of our water, which causes a lot of problems when it comes to our testosterone. It's a reason why the testosterone levels in men today are the lowest it has ever been, especially compared to the 60s, 70s, 80s, because of these chemicals and the microplastics, and also something that's wrong with the water that disrupt our testosterone levels as well is the estrogen levels that's inside of the water, and the forever chemicals that's inside of the water as well. The water that we bathe with, that comes from the faucet, that comes from, when we take showers and baths, and even just washing our hands, the water that's, flowing through the pipe systems, right? A lot of the problems when it comes to hair loss, it has something to do with the chemicals that's inside of the water, and it's chemicals that you can't detox, and that the filtration systems don't filter out estrogen. So when women, they take birth control, and they have their periods and so forth and so on, when estrogen flows out their body, they flush the toilet or whatever. It doesn't, when it goes to these different treatment plants, these water processing plants. I worked at one before in Alabama, in Tuskegee, Alabama. I worked for one, and they don't have they don't have treatment system that's set up to get rid of, to filter out the excess estrogen that's inside of the water supply. So that shit goes straight into our bodies, man. So it's a all-out attack on the male hormone, testosterone, and masculinity in general. And it's all the JEWISH's fault. It's all their fault. All fingers can be pointed to them, and a lot of people is waking up to that, especially on social media. I had worked my algorithm, my social media algorithm on Instagram. Liked enough of those videos that's exposing the small hats, and there's so many people that's in the world that's ignorant of this truth. That's pointing a finger at them, and they hate them, and that hate is rightfully deserved because they wicked. You feel me? They evil, right? And the world should hate them. It's only right. Because the scriptures tell us to hate the evil and love the good. But they like to play the victim and hide behind the anti-sim thing, and whatever truth come out exposing them, they want to label it as conspiracy. It's conspiracy theory and hate and anti-sim, So they can never be held accountable. But the Lord is exposing them. The scriptures say, I have made Esau bare. The Lord is making Esau bare. And they are the small hats. They are the elites of Edom. Just like we, the prophets, the men of the Lord, the servants of the Lord, are the chief men of Israel. They are the chief men of Edom, right? The synagogue of Satan would say they are JEWs and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. They deal with demons, unclean spirits, They be doing all types of rituals, sacrifices, ceremonies, to Satan and demons. And on the right hand side, we do that, with the Lord spiritually. we are the Lord's inner circle of servants. You know, the men who, you know, the God of Israel, the one true and living God that controls all things, the Almighty. We're, you know, his inner circle of servants that, you know, that he's intimate with on a spiritual level through his Son, only begotten Son, Yahushua. Right? But it's the opposite. So it's a war, you know. They on a losing team, and they don't even realize that Satan works for the Lord. He's an employee. He get told what to do. You know, Yahushua has the ultimate power. Then you say, all power is given unto me. All power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Roughly paraphrasing. The Lord hath committed all judgment to the Son, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father which have sent him. The scriptures tell you how the devils believe and tremble. The demons know the one true living God. Right? Which demons that they are in league with? The small hats. They in league with him. They the biggest enemies of Yahushua. That's why they reject Jesus, man. You know, they reject what, you know, even if the world has a misleading, you know, concept of who he truly is, they reject that, the whole idea of the Savior of Israel altogether, you know, Yahushua, the Messiah. Because he's their greatest enemy. These demons, they don't like Yahushua. When he was on earth, you see what was going on. You see, you know, how Yahushua was dealing with these demons, man. Yahushua holds supreme authority. The Father gave it to him. You know, he said all the angels of God shall worship him. Right? You know, he's given, the Most High has given Yahushua a name which goes into a reputational rank, you know, above every name, that, you know, everything in heaven and in earth submit and bow unto him. All power has been given unto him. So when you know, when he was here a couple thousand years ago, you know, when he was presented, you know, when demons was in his presence, you know, he said, what we have to do with you, you know, Yahushua, are thou here to torment us before the time, you know? And they was begging him to not torment them. So they had the utmost respect and fear of the Savior, but also they kind of like hate him, you know what I'm saying? Because they have a role to play as well. You know, they have a role to play. But at the end of the day, power is power. You feel me? And that's what Yahushua had. So, you know, they on the losing side, we on the winning side. You know? And that winning side, you know, Yahushua is about to come back and set things up. Let's reverse the damage that has been done by these Edomites, right? The chief members of the house of Edom, Esau, which is the small hats, right? But I could have, you know, kept going on about all the problems and stuff like that, that they've caused in the world, you know, on a environmental level, you on a social level, on a marriage and relationship level. They the reason behind they the reason why our women don't respect us, and they hate us. Who run the CIA? Who run CIA? Who run the governments? Who run the military? The pharmaceutical industry, the medical industry, the entertainment industry. Everything, man. It's them. It's their fault. They have destroyed the earth. They are responsible for it. Right? And they are going to be destroyed. Revelation 11:18. The nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged. Yeah, it's going to be a resurrection for judgment, and that thou shouldst give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, both small and great, which are Israelites, the elect of the nation of Israel. And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And we all know who that is. So they're going to get punished for all the things that they have done. Right? Let's end it off on this precept right here. Because you reap what you sow. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Galatians 6. In verse 7 it says, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So you sow evil, you're going to reap a reward fitting for your works and your actions. Right? As righteousness tends to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it unto his own death. Right? So they're going to get punished for the things that they have done in the earth. Justice is coming. Vengeance, recompense, payback for the small hats, man. Lord, when this video don't get taken down, man, because, it's not YouTube, it's YouTube. And they're very sensitive to this type of information to take it down. That's why my channel's been struck. But if it gets struck again, I'm just have to create an odyssey and link these type of videos on there, right? But I think I've done a decent job with using code words. But if not, then we have to go back to the drawing board, make some adjustments. But at the end of the day, we can't let up our foot off these devils' necks, man. The wicked is being revealed. Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, the Lord speaks through his prophets. Hosea 12:10. So hopefully this video was edifying. Till next time, peace.